Back home again in Indiana. Something special about these words, something special about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Since 1909, those are the words that have been sung and sang over the hollow ground of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway out here. And tonight we do it once more from the virtual Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The yard of bricks, the goal that everybody's chasing out here tonight, be the first one to it after 80 laps. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday evening out here. I am Tom Richter, and I will be with you for the next 80 laps from tonight's race in the heart of Indianapolis, Indiana. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday evening, getting through the week, getting through the work week. Looking forward to the weekend. Try to relax a little bit here as practice begins to wind down out here tonight. Just under 5 minutes remaining out in practice. 13 drivers have made their way through the garage and through pre-race tech inspection. Being led right now by Kendall Paul, Brad Holmes, and Mike Schaefer. Currently your top three on top of the board here. Just a handful of minutes remaining out in open practice. Other drivers out in the field. Points leader Brad Holmes comes in. Matt Semple comes in. Matt Semple second in points coming into tonight's race, just 8 points behind Brad Holmes. Couple of spots down there on the practice grid right there. 10th on the board through opening practice for Matt Semple. Hope everybody is all set to go as we get set to do some racing around here from this huge facility. As we take a look from the chopper view down here at this track, is see a couple of our drivers making their final laps as they begin to close out their practice out here. What's Matt Semple in out here tonight? Let's take a look. Take a closer look. Matt Semple. Matt's in the well, that's not accurate. We'll get that fixed in the next minute or two. But right now, Matt Semple, we're seeing him in the Jegs car. We got to get our stuff together. But Matt Semple in an unusual paint scheme. Well, let's have some fun about it here. Who else is out here? Justin Osterman in a bright blue and green Chevy Camaro out here. But we'll get those paints loaded up as we get set to go Race information for tonight, we've got about 20 laps for stage number 1, and then 40 laps in stage number 2. I did speak with a couple of the drivers out here tonight. They had said that the fuel window was probably somewhere between 25 and 28 laps, so we're probably looking pretty okay on fuel for at least the first and second stage, and then running our final 40 laps to the checkered flag, seeing where the fuel mileage comes into play here. A lot of opportunity to save fuel as this race goes along. You're going to see a lot of opportunities for drafting down these long straightaways, and maybe, just maybe, somebody walks away with the win off of fuel mileage out here tonight. Hey, if you're checking into our YouTube chat box, hope you're having a great Wednesday. Let me know who you're rooting for as we get set to go here with just about 2 minutes remaining in opening and final practice. Following along Mike Schaefer right now in that Chevy Camaro, that number 29 machine of Mike Schaefer. Looking pretty good on the board so far, third on the board. Is tonight the night that Mike gets to go to the bricks first? We're all going to find out together here in about 80 laps. But before we get there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw it side by side, and we're going to get the opening ceremonies for tonight's race underway. All right, back at it here as the checkered flag falls over practice. Kendall Paul, fastest in opening practice. Brad Holmes, Mike Schaefer, your top three as we get set for a 5-minute 2-lap qualifying here. And we'll see who's able to make their way up towards the front of the field to begin the qualifying attempts out here tonight. A couple of cars lighting up on pit road already. Busy pit road. So we get set. We got the paint schemes figured out now. Brad Holmes in that 00 Chevy Camaro, one of the first drivers out on track, posting a time, is Brad Holmes. See what he's able to do. We'll follow around here, and then we'll kind of jump around and see who else is going out right now. But other drivers out on track: Kendall Paul, Jared Hoey, Mike Miller, Gary Miller, Matt Semple, Jaden Wicks. So a whole bunch of drivers for us to poke around and see where everybody's running. Right now, all eyes on Brad Holmes going down into turn 3. 2 laps here. They're going to be able to maybe take this first lap and try to get the tires warmed up a little bit. So we see Brad running probably a little bit higher than usual on that 0-0 car. All the way down this front stretch, 5 gears strong. Brad Holmes, and we're going to see him try to get that nose right in between that white line and the grass right there. Does an excellent job of it through turn 2. Had to get out of the gas a little bit, and that's going to hurt his speed down the backstretch a little bit here, just a tiny bit, but only lap number 1. Brad Holmes still well in contention for a good qualifying run out here. Other drivers out on track already. Roy Hill III is making his way down the backstretch here for the first time for that number 77 Ford Mustang of Roy Hill III. Watching the lines here, the differences between what we saw in Brad Holmes and Roy Hill, a lot higher line for the 77 of Roy Hill than what we saw in Brad Holmes. Take a look down here once he gets down to turn number 1. See if he is able to point that nose down more towards the bottom, and there you have it. Yeah, see him get that left front right down there. That's going to help the car turn, but you got to be careful because if you get it down there too far, it's going to grab the grass. It's going to grab that curbing down there. Very aggressive on the shocks, very aggressive on the springs, and that will upset the car and sometimes even bring it around. Lap 1 done and away as 6 drivers have posted a time. Kendall Paul currently fastest on the board through provisional qualifying out here. Matt Semple second on the board, almost 0.2 of a second off, a little bit under 0.2 of a second. Brad Holmes third, and Jared Hoey currently in fourth. Gary Miller currently your top 5. Here's something interesting. Kind of off kilter of your standard qualifying attempt here. Kendall Paul completes his 2 laps and then takes another lap to do some pit entry practice. So maybe thinking about some green flag pit stops coming up through the race out here tonight. Roy Hill working lap number 2 in that 77 machine. First lap by was 11th fastest for the 77. Keep an eye on him here for another minute or 2. Other drivers finishing out their laps right now. Mike Schaefer currently 3rd on the board. Mike is entering turn 3 or 4. Let's take a look down here at Mike, see where Mike is at. 3rd on the board, trying to pick up on his fast lap at the time out here tonight, trying to find about 0.3 of a second in that number 29 Chevy Camaro as he comes down. And it looks like he might also be, he may have had an issue in on lap number 2 there, because he is also going to come down and attempt to do a pit entry, very slow pit entry here for the 29, so possible trouble for Mike Schaefer. Don't see any other cars out on track right now, so we'll take this opportunity. Let's go ahead and pull up the race information out here for tonight. Race information up here for tonight. Stage number 1 concludes at lap number 20. Stage number 2 concludes at lap number 40. And again, a fuel window somewhere in the window of 25 to 28 laps is what we can expect. Take a look at the upcoming schedule, obviously, out here tonight at Indianapolis, the racing capital of the world. Next week, these Friggy-Diggy Racing League drivers going to be at Iowa Speedway, followed by a road course at Watkins Glen up in the Finger Lakes of New York. And then they take a trip down south to Virginia, and they're at the short track of Richmond. So we get out here, and we get set to go racing for the Brickyard 200 underneath the guidance of Kendall Paul in the 78 machine as the pole sitter out here tonight. And we'll get your starting lineup all set to go. Starting on the front row, Kendall Paul, Matthew Semple, your top 2 qualifiers out here tonight. Starting in row number 2 is Mike Schaefer, followed by Brad Holmes to his outside. Row number 3 is made up of Jaden Wicks and Justin Osterman. Mike Miller and Jared Hoey make up row number 4, followed by Gary Miller and Paxton Frith rounding out the top 10. And on the outside of the top 10, we got Roy Hill III starting in 11th position. Position number 12 belongs to Adrian Williams. Christopher Pugliese begins tonight's race in position number 13. And the Driving Extreme Incorporated driver of Chris Lawrence in 14th, followed by Barry Nelson, rounding out our field of 15 drivers out here for tonight's evening. Well, the engines are fired. Drivers are making their last minute adjustments, pre-race calculations, trying to figure out their team strategies. trying to get on the right spot for not only the stages, but also that final 40 lap run to the checkered flag. As we hear the engines getting set to pull off, and the iRacing.com pace car puts it in gear, and we watch the field of 15 drivers come by for the first time. Some long pace laps around out here tonight is going to give the drivers an opportunity to save fuel as we do get cautions and whatever else you may have. You a lot of opportunity to save on the entry, mainly down into 1 and 3, because we'll try to grab a quick look at the track map out here real quick as these drivers are pacing around here. So right now they're entering into turn number 3. If you're going to be seeing any saving fuel, you're going to be seeing it on the entry to 3 and on the entry to 1, because you do have just that little short chute in between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it does not necessarily really hurt your long straightaway speed. Those little short chutes give you an opportunity to save a little bit of gas, and then also have all the speed you need to race down the front stretch here. But the fans are on their feet. The balloons are almost set to go. Oh, wait, that's the wrong race. We're still at the right track. iRacing.com pace car about to get down and out of the way as Barney the Flagman's got the green flag high up in the air for the first time out here tonight from the Friggy Diggy Racing League. It's time to go racing from Indianapolis. Lap down and away here, 2.5 miles done and away. Matt Semple takes the race lead up one spot over. Also, Kimball shuffles into second place on lap number 2. Thought I saw a little bit of smoke back there. I see it looks like Paxton Thrift going around. We'll try to grab him in just a moment, see exactly what happened to him as the yellow flag is out at Indy for the first time out here tonight. All right, let's take a look here. See what maybe have happened. Just very loose for the 21 of Paxton Frith. Gets down there in between 1 and 2, and he's going to make some contact down there on the inside retaining wall. We'll take one more look at it and see if we can't see maybe how much damage that 21 machine does have. Yeah, he gets loose, then gets a little bit of a tap after he got loose by Christopher Pugliese. And then, yeah, definitely make some contact down there with the inside retaining wall. I thought I saw somebody else go around towards the end of the first lap there. We'll click around, see if we can't find anybody. See what Gary Miller's got. It looks like there might have been something for Gary Miller here. Let's see if this is anything of interest. All right, maybe I was just seeing things. We'll see. As field under yellow for the first time out here tonight. 15 cars strong, being led right now by Matt Semple, Kendall Paul, Brad Holmes, Jaden Wicks, Justin Osman. Currently your top 5 as we make our way through stage number 1 here at the racing capital of the world. See a couple of people checking into our YouTube chat box. How you doing? How you feeling? Hope everybody's having a great week. Who you rooting for? Who you rooting against? That's fun to talk about too. A couple of cars, maybe Mike Schaefer coming down onto pit road, followed by Gary. Is that Gary Miller? Yeah, Gary Miller behind him. Drivers do have 5 tire changes that they can use out here tonight. So that is something that they'll be able to use to their advantage with fuel between 25 and 28 laps. That kind of tells me they'll have an extra set or 2. So maybe Mike Schaefer, Gary Miller taking advantage early of those extra tire sets out here tonight. On board with the iRacing.com pace car. Lights still on the iRacing.com pace car, so we'll be going at least one more pace lap out here tonight, taking a look at the back of Matt Semple, currently your race leader. They make their way around out here tonight. Let's see if we got anybody saving fuel. Probably not just yet. Well, as I say that, everybody likes to prove me wrong as we go on board here. This is Kendall Paul, currently your second place driver, listening to the RPMs out here in that 78 machine. Clicking around to find Jaden Wicks. They begin to double up here. Justin Osman. Yeah, everybody thinks that they're going to be okay on fuel for stage number 1. All right, attempt number 2 of the race out here tonight. First couple of laps down, couple of laps done and away. Cold tires, nerves high. We'll see what this restart looks a little bit different than the first one out here tonight. But the field is doubled up behind the iRacing.com pace car. Matt Semple, Kendall Paul, Brad Holmes, Jaden Wicks, Mike Miller, currently your top 5. Drivers that pitted underneath this last caution, Roy Hill and Gary Miller, they're going to be starting back in 9th and 13th. And also Paxton Frith also came down, got some damage done. And Paxton Frith currently in 14th place, and we are about set to go once again for the restart from the Friggy Diggy Racing League at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Into the restart zone, the orange walls, and away they go. Brad Holmes, Matt Semple with a great restart down there on the bottom of the track. They get a great restart and launch down to turn number 1. Kendall Paul's going to lose another position to Brad Holmes as Kendall Paul loses second place to the 0-0 of Brad Holmes. And now Kendall Paul also under fire from Jaden Wicks, possibly taking a look now for third place, trying to send that 78 Toyota Camry back 1 or 2 more spots. Couple of battles happening out on track out here tonight. Justin Osterman underneath the 9 of Jaden Wicks. A little bit of blinky blink for the number 9 machine. Jaden's going to get out of the gas, and well, maybe not. They're going to continue racing down the front stretch here as Mike Miller now plays a role in which line moves forward. Entering to turn number 1, the 24 Ford Mustang. Behind these two drivers looking to pounce if there is an opening. Mike Miller says, hey, one of these lines go and get out of the way so I can get up there and make my spot as well. But now Justin Osman is going to be able to make the pass on the 9 of Jaden Wicks. And Mike Miller trying everything he can to be in position to hopefully take a spot from that number 9 machine. But battles up in front of them, battles behind them. We're going to jump around up here. The battle now for second place between the 0-0 of Brad Holmes and the 78 Kendall Paul. Coming out turn number 4. Long front straightaway here. Close to 3,000 feet as you see the driver snake down the front straightaway, trying to get as much air in between him and Brad Holmes as much as he can. Not going to be able to do it. 0-0 going to have the drafting help from the 8 of Matt Semple. And that's going to protect that second place position for Brad Holmes in the 0-0 machine. Kendall Paul took one look down there, and that's all it took for Justin Osterman to go from about half a second back down to about 3 car lanes behind him and closing as Kendall Paul continues to take a look, and he's able to get around the 0-0 Brad Holmes. All this is happening. Matt Semple, he's opened up about a little bit over a half-second lead over second place Kendall Paul right now. Snaking down the front straightaway. Third place belongs to Brad Holmes, Justin Osterman. Jaden Wicks, he's gone back to 5th place running order. That's where he started out here tonight. Driver on the move, up 6 positions already, is the 900 of Christopher Pugliese. Up 6 positions, running in 7th place for that car out there. So early movers, drivers that are kind of falling down towards the wayside. Mike Schaefer came down on pit road on lap number 3. Take a look at that 29 machine. See exactly what he looks like. Do you see any damage on that car? Don't believe so. Maybe a little bit loose down there as he fights it through 1 and 2. But down 6 positions from his qualifying efforts out here tonight. But Kendall Paul slowly beginning to close in on Matt Semple as we're kind of following the battles all over the track out here tonight, keeping an eye on the scoring pylon. Kendall Paul got 0.4 of a second and closing last lap time by for Kendall Paul was a 53.22 to a 53.3. Oh, slider. Who is that? Is that Jared Hoey in the 951? Got big time loose coming out of turn number 2 there. We'll back up and see if we can't see exactly what happened. Well, let's see if this is it. Kind of catching into it there a little bit late on the slide as we've got a full course yellow over the speedway. We're going to get to that one right in a moment, but big time slide for the 951, but he's able to keep it pointed in the right direction. No harm, no foul. Maybe just a little bit of just a little bit of off-track excursion there. Well, let's see. I may have spoken too soon for Jared Hoey in the 951. Looking like maybe another incident for the 951. Oh no, it's going to happen in front of him. Does he get through it? Who is that? Is that Chris Lawrence in front of him? Let's take a look. Looking closer at Chris Lawrence. He's going to hit the outside wall coming out of turn 3, I believe that is, in that short chute in between 3 and 4. And hard, heavy impact into the outside retaining wall. And that is certainly going to be a fast repair. A roll of flex tape, as we see. We see the driver wheels moving down there, so we know Chris is okay, but we'll take one more look from Chris Lawrence. He just gets down there, and then there's not much grip down there. And then just heavy, heavy contact for the 10 machine. Rough start for the evening for the 10 of Chris Lawrence. But a couple of cars making their way through. Single car incident on lap number 10 for the car number 10. All right. Kind of bringing us all back together out here. While we were watching one incident, another one happened. Chris Lawrence is down on pit road. Now, the drivers do have one fast repair, which it looks like... I still see some damage on that. Well, I still see some damage on the nose of that car. I don't like to use... this, but we'll see. Yeah, he's still got some damage. So that tells me that because he couldn't drive that car back to pit road, he had to tow the vehicle back to pit road, and he did not have his fast repair checked. And maybe sitting there on required damage, which if that is the case and if that is what happened, that could be a huge implication because you cannot elect to use your fast repair while you're actively in a pit stop. And that looks like what is happening here for the 10 of Chris Lawrence, but we'll keep an eye on him on the timing charts and see if he begins to roll off a pit road. Chris Lawrence still on pit road. So, yeah, I do believe... Well, yeah, you got some damage done. He's gonna be... I believe he's going to be one lap down. Yeah, and there he is as it updates as he comes off of pit road. One lap down for the 10 machine. Not the end of the world for the 10 machine, despite having heavy damage on that car, which he may have reactivated a pit stop there because now I don't see any damage on that car. Well, one lap down for the 10, but with the stage caution coming in just about 7 laps, as long as he can be the only car one lap down at the time of the yellow flag, he will be receiving a free pass and get back on the lead lap with a clean vehicle for the 10. So no stage points likely for Chris Lawrence in that number 10 machine, but certainly not out of it by a long shot. Field begins to bunch up and double file up behind the iRacing.com pace car. Enter in turn number 4. Yep, 4. They kind of look the same when you're looking at it from those angles here, but getting ready to go once again. Last time we saw the inside line get a great restart. Kendall Paul not have such a great restart and lose 1 or 2 positions on the restart here. Same front row as last time, Matt Semple, Kendall Paul. See if a similar situation plays out as we get set to go racing once again for the 3rd time out here tonight from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Into the restart zone we go, and the lights are green. Same exact song and dance as it was 5 laps ago. Kendall Paul loses 1, maybe 2 spots on the restart. Matt Semple, Brad Holmes, they're going to work together and get that good restart there. But man, I was trying to catch up to him. Brad Holmes goes around on the exit of turn number 1 on that restart, and we are under yellow again. Cold tires on that 0-0, and he just goes around single car spin, no incident, no contact. But we're going to take a closer look, see exactly what happened with Brad Holmes as we will go on board here with the 0-0 for this restart. Kind of coming in a little bit late. We'll back this up just a smidge and try to get a better look out of here. On the exit of 1 there. Nice job by the entire field to get through that without any sort of additional incident. And finally, one more look from on board the 29 of Mike Schaefer. He sees a little bit of smoke down on the bottom. Doesn't have any issue getting through there. Good job by all these drivers getting through as we are underneath the yellow lights here for the 3rd time. Now I'm going to be curious if this is the stage caution or not. Stage is scheduled to end at lap number 20. Stage number 2 is 40. You figure if they go 16, 17, we'll probably go back green. But we'll see what race control tells us here in a moment or 2. Looks like we're going back green because I don't see any drivers coming down pit road. So we're going to race to the stage for some stage points. So Kendall Paul and Matt Semple, they're going to duel it out on a restart once again. But this time now, Justin Osterman is going to be holding the 3rd place inside row position for the restart. Kendall Paul's had 2 opportunities and both times lost a spot on the restart. That time he had a little bit of fortune come the 78 way, which allowed him to get back up into 2nd place. But we'll see if Kendall Paul is able to maybe take some notes on what the 8 machine is doing. Now, what Matt has the advantage of is that every time they go into the restart zone, he can go at a different point. So last time he went a little bit late. The first time he went a little bit early. So he leaves Kendall Paul guessing as to what his next restart is going to look like. This way, trying to keep the advantage as the lead car for the control car for the restart here. But I do believe the lights are going to be going out this time by, and we should begin to see the field start to double up here once we cross the start-finish line. Field begins to double up as they enter down here into turn number 1. You just take a look at this facility, massive facility. I was lucky enough to come here once for the 2023 Indy 500. Not much of an IndyCar fan, but hey, if you love motorsports, you know that the Indianapolis 500 is just one of those races, means the world to any motorsports fan. So got to experience it once, and I tell you what, I've been to a lot of big tracks. I walked into Indy and I was like, holy smokes, this place is huge compared to everything else I've experienced. And I've been to Daytona and Pocono and all those kind of larger tracks. But Indy is something else. Indy is something special. And all these drivers know it. 15 drivers strong. They know it. They're trying to get to the Yard of Bricks first out here this evening for the Friggy Diggy Racing League Cup Series. Once again, another opportunity for Kendall Paul to have a better restart and try to fight Matt Semple. If he can stay side by side with him on this restart, not nose to tail, but if he can keep his left front on the right rear of Matt Semple through turn 1 and possibly turn 2, I think he'll have a pretty good shot of taking the lead off turn 2. But lights are about to turn green. We'll see. And Matt Semple once again goes. Kendall Paul a little slow on the start once again, but that gives the advantage to Justin Osterman as Justin Osterman in 54 takes a look down into the inside of the 78 Toyota Camry of Kendall Paul. Kendall Paul holding on to second place right now. Now going back to third place. Mike Miller's going to take a look for second place down here underneath the 78 machine. Possibly losing another spot. But drivers on the move out here tonight. We said his name before. Christopher Pugliese now up 9 positions from his starting position for that number 900 Ford Mustang. What has Christopher got as this race continues to make its way through stage number 1? Just 2 more laps to go in stage 1. Trying to get a podium finish in stage 1 is the 900. But all eyes up front, Matt Semple, he's checked out by about 0.6 of a second lead over Justin Osterman, who's got a big push from Kendall Paul down towards the middle of the front stretch here. Riding on board with the 78 machine. You just listen to the throttle and the off throttle. And there you can hear the gas, you can hear off the gas, on the gas, off the gas, on the gas. I told him that the 78 is about out of tires. Let's see if we get the same thing down here in 3. Well, he might have still gotten tight there, but he made the pass on Justin Osterman. Justin Osterman slid high on the entry to turn number 3. That opened up the door for position number 2 to become property of the 78 machine. But Matt Semple looking in his rearview mirror, he loves what he sees as we're coming around to work the final lap of stage number 1 out here tonight. Mike Miller underneath the 900 of Chris Pugliese. Mike Miller comes into tonight's race 4th in the, third in the point standings. So needing a good points run for that number 24 machine. And some stage points, finishing 4th in stage number 1 will certainly do that here for him. Osterman with a little bit of a slide. Looks like he's going to be able to. No, he's not going to be able to hold on to it. Here goes the 54. He's going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 spots. And a turn 4 heartbreak for the 54. Leaves Justin Osterman crossing the start-finish line for stage number 1 in 8th place. Stage 1 done and away. I tell you what, we're going to go ahead. We're going to step away for a few minutes. We'll get some pit stops done. We're going to try to grab your stage winner, Matt Semple, when we come back here in just a few moments here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. All right, back at it once again as the field on and off pit road for the conclusion of stage number 1. And as promised, let's see if we can't grab, I think I might have been able to grab Matt Semple, stage 1 winner. Matt, how you doing? It's Tom up here. You got me?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
Holy smokes, you are loud. All right, well, you won stage number 1. Couple of restarts that you had there up with the 78, kept getting the good jumps. What are you going to do as we are now starting? Where are you starting? 4th on this restart. How are you going to manage that?
I'm going to see how the dirty air affects the car and everything. I heard a couple guys in our call there say once you get back in traffic, it's really tight. So haven't had to deal with that yet. So we'll see how that shakes out this run here. Hopefully we can make it fun and keep them there good.
All right, well, hey, maybe we'll be able to catch up with you at the end of stage number 2, or maybe possibly at the end of the next 80 laps, but good luck to that number 8 machine. Last time we spoke to you on air live on the broadcast, somebody wrecked you, so maybe we'll just stay here and see what happens the next half lap. What do you think?
No, I think we got to get that bad juju out of here.
All right, well, Matt Semple, stage 1 winner. Good luck rest of the race.
Thank you, sir.
All right, kicking Matt out of here. Apologies. The Canadians are loud, apparently, when they come into our channel. But field doubled up and ready to go once again. New race leader, Jaden Wicks, came on pit road. A couple of cars stayed out on this round of pit stop here. Jaden Wicks, Chris Lawrence, your front row, top 2. They were the drivers that stayed out on this stage caution here. They last pitted on lap number 10, so there's going to be about, well, maybe about a 10-lap difference in tires, but it did have that one yellow flag in between, so we'll see how the tires hold up. I don't hate this call for Chris and Jaden. You just heard Matt, stage 1 winner, saying how hard it is to try to make some passes once you get into some dirty air, so give yourself the opportunity right now to figure it out for stage number 3. Pace car down on the way underneath the guidance of league owner Jaden Wicks out here tonight. Jaden Wicks, Chris Lawrence bringing us into the restart zone. To begin stage number 2 out here tonight, and down and away they go. Great restart by Chris Lawrence on the outside line there. So difficult to try not to jump the restart, but he's going to go really wide down this turn number 1. That's going to open up the door for Matt Semple, that number 8 machine, followed by Mike Miller. They're going to take a look down to the inside of the number 9 machine. Those 10-lap tires may be making more of a difference than I expected them to. Racing down the backstretch here, see what they're able to do as we try to look through the trees there and try to get a better view of the battle up here for the lead. Matt Semple being pushed by Mike Miller, Kendall Paul, all trying to work the inside line of the Speedway while Jaden Wicks tries to hold on to those 10-lap older tires. And I think lesson learned for the number 9 and 10 as they complete another lap out here tonight. 4 positions lost for the 9, and where is 12 positions lost for Chris Lawrence. So I think lesson learned, but I don't hate it. Definitely gives you the opportunity right now to figure out how much those tires mean, even if you do have a stage or a contact caution in between the stage. But definitely an opportunity to learn for later in the race out here tonight. We take a look on here on board with Kendall Paul. He's going to take a look down to the inside of this 24 of Mike Miller. He's going to be able to make that pass, and he's going to clear himself right up onto the outside wall. Position number 2 now belongs to the 78. Battles everywhere on the track out here tonight. Justin Osman under fire from Christopher Pugliese. Chris, driver's been going forward, been going backwards, been going forward again. And right now trying to fight his way back up into the top 5. Working lap number 26 out here tonight. Good run for that number 900 car of Pugliese. That Rogue Energy Chevy Camaro. What is he in? I can't even see. We got too many trees out here tonight. Well, we'll call it a Ford. It looks like a Ford on the front of that car. In that Rogue Energy red and blue Ford Mustang for Christopher. A little bit loose coming out of turn number 3 there. Now entering turn number 4. Goes up a little bit high. That's going to open up the door to Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes trying to recover from that restart incident that he had a couple of laps ago. Brad Holmes taking a look down onto the inside of the 900 into turn number 1, and he's going to be able to slide down there. Pick up position number 6 from Christopher. One of the closer battles on track out right now is Mike Miller and Jaden Wicks. Mike Miller holding on to position number 3 over Jaden Wicks in position number 4. Remember, Jaden's on about 10-lap older tires here. Definitely lost a couple of spots early on the restart, but has settled in nicely to a top 5 running position here, even with those older tires. So if he can finish out this stage, even in the top 5 or top 6 for the 9, I would say that that's a win. Get you some track position, put you in position as you begin to think about the final 40-lap run to the black and white checkered flag out here for the number 9 machine. Mike Schaefer giving the heat to Paxton Thrift right now as these drivers enter down into turn number 1. Mike Schaefer trying to run down the 21 machine. See what he's able to do. You just hear the draft. You can hear the draft here of the cars picking each other up. Going down to turn number 3. And again, you hear that throttle time on the throttle, off the throttle. And he's going to go. He's going to get a good look at the wall coming out turn number 4 as we've got an incident for Chris Lawrence as the lights are yellow over the Speedway. Something happened to Chris Lawrence. I think we'll figure out exactly what here in just a moment. All right, let's take a look here. Chris Lawrence. Oddly similar to what we saw on, what was it, about lap 12 or so for the 10 machine? We'll take another look and see. You can't take a better look. Oh, this time he's going to get into the outside wall just like he did last time. Slide down and then nose the car into the outside retaining wall. Very similar to what he did a handful of laps ago. This time by does not have nearly as much damage on that number 10 machine. Last time that entire nose was caved in here. I don't see a whole lot of damage on the, at least the left side of it. Looks like there might be some significant... Yeah, he's wiggling that car around. Yeah, there's some significant damage on that right front. Car looks like it's driving straight, so I believe he's definitely going to have some repairs, but I believe he'll still be in the race and running halfway decent for the event out here tonight. Working lap number 29 of 80. All right, guard your ears. We're going to try this again. We're going to try grabbing the driver of the 78, Kendall Paul, here in just a moment. He's going to be restarting on the outside of the front row, once again next to the 8 machine of Matt Semple, but I believe we caught up with the 78. Kendall, how you doing out here tonight?
Doing good. How are you doing?
All right, that was a whole lot better than when Matt came in the first time. Matt about killed everybody on YouTube, but well, we've seen you start on the front row multiple times, and it looks like Semple's gotten the best of you on all those restarts. How are you taking notes? How are you making adjustments for all these restarts that are continuing to happen?
Yeah, trying to just time them down. I am not a very good person to start on the outside front row. It's something I'm definitely getting to work on tonight. I think we're getting a little bit better each time, but it doesn't seem like it though. But I think our just best bet is just ride behind and take some notes on where they're struggling and circle them and keep on later the race. It's just so hard to pass it. Yeah, just taking notes right now and seeing what we can do.
Yeah, we heard a similar story from Matt Semple saying once you get back in some dirty air, the car certainly feels the effects of it. So good luck these next 10 laps. Where were you with Justin or Trey down there? Justin. All right, Kendall. Well, hopefully we get to chat up here with you a little bit later. We're going to kick you out of here and let you go on another restart for the number 78 machine of Kendall Paul. So another driver telling us dirty air playing a huge role, hard to pass once you do get behind some drivers. Field begins to double up here behind the iRacing.com pace car from the racing capital of the world, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Well, this is a development. So Kendall just told us. I don't know if Matt was. Listening. Kendall just said, I'm not very good starting on the outside of restart. And then this time we see Matt Semple elect to take the outside line as the race leader for this next restart. So interesting development here. Maybe Matt Semple trying some things for stage number 2 ending here in the next, what will be 8 laps when we go green flag racing once again. But it's going to be something new for Kendall Paul. So just when Kendall thinks he got it figured out, maybe up on the top side, well, now he's got to figure it out on the bottom side. 31 laps done. 31 laps about to be away here as the iRacing.com pace car is going to get down and out of the way, make that hard left-hand turn down pit road, go on up to Barney. Barney's got the flag high up in the air. He's ready to send them on their way once again underneath the control and the guidance of Matt Semple and Kendall Paul. Down to turn number 1. Lights are green at Indianapolis once again, and Matt Semple again with the lead on the restart out here. Gets a maybe a 2-car length advantage down to turn number 1. But a much better start for the 78 machine. He's able to hang on to second. The first time we've seen him actually hold on to a position. And now he sets his sights on the number 8 of Semple. On board here, you can see the draft closing. Mid-wheelie closing on the back of that 8 machine. Is he going to take a look down here to turn number 3? He's going to make him think he's going to look. Matt Semple threw his half of the line down there. Put some dirty air on the front of that 78 machine, and big time tight for the 78. See him get tight up into the outside retaining wall of turn 3. No damage, just a little bit of, putting a little bit of blue paint there. Is Mike Miller having a moment down here. Mike Miller goes for a slide out of turn number 4. He's going to stay on the racing surface but lose multiple positions for Mike Miller. Let's see if we can maybe take a closer look at exactly what happened to Mike in that Ford Mustang here. Might have been a little bit of contact between him and the 00 Brad Holmes. We'll take one more look here. So there definitely was contact that finished the slide, but he was already going around, or at least sliding at the very minimum, by the time there was contact between him and the 24. But that's going to send Mike Miller down all the way to 13th place after running solidly up in the top 5. So not the way that Mike wanted to possibly end his stage number 2, as he's trying to get some stage points. Came in here as 3rd place driver in the overall point standings with just a couple of races remaining before they begin the playoffs in a couple of weeks. Mike Miller going to have some work to do on in stage number 3 back here, but keeping an eye up towards the front of the field. Kendall Paul trying to chase down that 8 machine of Matt Semple, but battles happening towards the back of the field. Chris Pugliese, he's going to get into the outside retaining wall pretty hard. That's going to allow Justin Osterman pick up a position number 7 for that number 54 machine. And away he goes, but more battles happening behind them. Jared Hoey, Roy Hill III, got a cool little 3 little car battle happening down here on the front stretch as they cross the yard of bricks into turn number 1. Roy Hill going to take a big look down onto the inside of Jared Hoey in that number 951. Not able to make anything happen with it just yet. Gary Miller on the inside. He's able to use that air advantage. And does he slide up? No, he does not slide up. There's still side-by-side attitude. Riding on board with Gary Miller here. Well, that's interesting. I didn't expect to see that, but I believe these drivers are going down into 4th gear on the entry two corners. I'm not very familiar with the next-gen cars. I spend a lot of my times in the trucks. That's where I spend most of my time on iRacing at. But these cars do have 5 gears. And they're using all 5 of them and then some out here tonight as we see Jared Hoey get into the outside retaining wall. That's going to open up the door possibly for Gary Miller to maybe make a pass down there for 9th place. While all this is happening, Kendall Paul is putting the back bumper massage on Matt Semple up here for the lead. Coming down just about 4 laps to go remaining in stage number 2. 78 trying to chase down number 8. Stage concludes at lap number 40. We'll take a look here. We'll see if we can't get this right on the first try. we got it wrong on the first try. Last couple of times by, Kendall Paul has been anywhere from half a tenth to a little bit over a tenth better than Matt Semple in that number 8 machine. Last time by was about 5/100ths of a second better. Lap number 35, just over a tenth better. Now, part of that is going to be from draft, right? You know, this is not just raw speed. This is also air and draft and everything. But then, I mean, in the same breath, you also have to say, you know, Kendall is also fighting that dirty air that everybody has been talking about all night long as they cross the yard of bricks out here. Lap number 37. A little bit faster for the 8 machine that time by. But Kendall Paul all over the back of Matt Semple. Just trying to get a stage win. Matt Semple trying to get both stage wins out here tonight. As, there it goes. We'll get that down and out of the way. To close out stage number 2 here. Going to be 2 laps to go this time by as Matt Semple sees the start finish line out of his front windshield to begin lap number 39. Matt Semple able to holding a little bit of an advantage now over the 78 of Kendall Paul. You can see the daylight in between position number 1, position number 2. Beginning to grow even just the tiniest bit down here on the back stretch, but in good position out here to possibly win both stages out here. But hold the phone, because here comes Kendall Paul. Kendall Paul says, not so fast. I want to take a look on the 8 machine once again, see if I can't put that 78 up towards the front for a stage win. He's going to have one more lap to do it. And he's setting himself up good here. He's going to have a huge run down here on the front stretch. 1 lap to go in stage number 2. Coming through turns 1 and 2, Matt Semple able to play a little bit of a defensive position on the entry to turn number 2. But Kendall Paul well within striking distance, half a car length, if that, behind Matt Semple. They're going to snake down the backstretch. Kendall Paul takes a look high. Matt Semple takes a look low. Semple comes back up, take a little bit of air away from them as they enter into turn number 3. Semple still with about a 1 car length advantage over the 78 of Kendall Paul. Kendall Paul a little bit loose on the exit of turn 3, and I believe that will likely give stage 2 win to Matt Semple as he comes out turn number 4, and he's going to be the first one across the bricks to complete stage number 2. Yellow flag down and out of the way. 40 laps done. So we get set to begin stage number 3 here in just a couple of laps. But Matt Semple, winner of stage number 1. Kendall Paul also finished second in stage 1. Jaden Wicks plays that tire strategy very nicely. Remember, those guys, Jaden Wicks last pitted on lap number 11, working lap number 41. So we're looking at 30 laps. Jaden Wicks was able to hang on to a solid top 3 position at the end of stage number 2. I would call that a win. It's going to give him the opportunity to be up here towards the front to begin stage number 3. And if I'm driving that number 9 car, I took some notes about how well those tires held up for me. Field makes their way down onto pit road. Underneath the stage yellow out here tonight. we're going to take a look, see who comes off pit road first. I would imagine we're going to see 4 tires up and down pit road, start to finish. Nobody stays out on this stage. Not really surprising considering it's been about 21 laps since they last pit. They said before that their fuel was about 25 to 28 laps, so all that kind of makes sense. At least to me it makes sense. Let's see if we can't get a... hear the engine revving. Kendall Paul trying to beat the 8 out of pit road, not able to do so. Kendall Paul going to lose a spot to Jaden Wicks on pit road. Battle for 3rd off of pit road. Going to go to the 29 of Mike Schaefer, followed by Brad Holmes in the top 5. But as we get set to begin stage number 3, we're going to step away for just a moment, pay some bills, see who's able to win tonight's race.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second spot, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom. Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
All right, back once again here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway from the Friggy Diggy Racing League. Stage 2 down and away. Matt Semple, your winner of both stage number 1 and stage number 2. Matt Semple electing to take the outside lane again on this next restart for that number 8 machine, but we are about ready to go once more. Pace car down and away. Begin lap number 44. Here from the racing capital of the world, Matt Semple in control of this race, almost from the word go. And go, 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 that is what is Matt Semple. Trouble towards the back. Justin Osman does not get going. Everybody is able to keep it clean and green as they enter down into turn number 1, but a big stack up on the outside line for that number 54. Just a bad restart for the outside line, 54 specifically. But battles up towards the front of the field. Mike Schaefer trying to make his way through. Kendall Paul also trying to make his way through. As they come down this long back straightaway here, Jaden Wicks holding on to second place right now. Mike Schaefer slides up into about lane number 3, lane number 4, all the way up into the marbles. possibly almost up into the outside wall, but he keeps it going. Justin Osterman putting the nose to the back of the 21 of Paxton Antrim. He's going to take a look down onto the inside of that number 21. Interstate Batteries Ford Mustang. Maybe not. Maybe so. We're going to find out together as he takes a look down into the inside line of that 21 machine. I hear a couple of cars sliding around back there. Don't see anybody going around just yet. Thought I heard some tires squealing. But battles all over the speedway out here. Mike Miller trying to make his way back up towards the front of the field. As we've got a battle for second place. Kendall Paul. Kendall Paul makes his way around Jaden Wicks, that number 9 Chevy Camaro. But we were taking a look a moment ago at Mike Miller. Mike Miller trying to get back up into contention. Had that turn 4 incident where he had a little bit of a slide down there. Those skid marks you see down there, those belong to the number 24 machine. But trying to get back up there. He was running solidly up in the top 5. So keep an eye on that number 24 machine. Don't count him out as this race progresses here, as we've got just over 30 laps to go in tonight's event from Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Free Diggy Racing League. Hey, want to give a big shout out here as we're a little bit past our halfway mark. Give a big shout out to Jaden Wicks for picking up tonight's race, sponsoring the race, keeping the lights on here at the Free Diggy Racing League, and all the drivers, all the leadership team over here, allowing the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network to come out on a Wednesday night. Certainly enjoy doing it. Usually it's Cody and myself, but Cody was not available tonight. I think Cody was still mad that I wrecked him last night in another race that we raced together, but certainly do appreciate the opportunity to come out here and say hello to all of our friends out on YouTube and watch these drivers put their skills to the test for these 80 laps that they've got out here tonight. Matt Semple, while all this is happening behind him, Matt Semple, he's opened up about a half-second lead over Kendall Paul in second place in that number 78 Toyota Camry, trying every night, every time we've talked about the 78, trying to chase down Matt Semple in that number 8 machine. It seems like it's always been the same story. Running in second, got the draft, got an opportunity to make the pass, get there, get dirty air, and then repeat. So Kendall Paul's going to have to do something a little bit different than what he's done the past couple of times when he's gotten there. Take a look once again at the last lap times for Semple and Paul. Again, Kendall Paul. This one's kind of more of a little bit of a mixed bag here. Saw lap 44, lap 45, actually lap 45. Matt Semple, that purple number there, that 52.931, that indicates Matt Semple's fastest lap of the race. Anytime you see a purple number, it's the fastest lap of the race for that driver. So certainly picking up the times for the number 8 machine. But the last 2 laps, lap 46, 47, Kendall Paul, he's closed just about 0.3 of a second in these last 2 laps as they come across the line. We'll take a look and see what lap 48 reads. There you see it starts to get a little bit closer, and now he's about 1/4 of a second slower behind number 8 is Kendall Paul. So he's going to have a tough road ahead of him if he wants to get around him in these closing laps. Now, what I will say is that these drivers qualified. Let's take a look. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Let's take a look. So they qualified. Kendall Paul got the pole with a 52.821. You take a look at the times down there, 53.1, 53.1, 53.2. So right now they're running about 0.4 of a second slower, but they're only on about 7-lap tires. They're on about 7-lap tires from when they last pitted. So the opportunity would be for Kendall Paul here to undercut the pit stop and try to get in and off pit road before Matt Semple does. With 25 to 28 laps, pit window opens up sometime after lap 55. Your fuel mileage may vary. You never really get the true number of fuel when you ask a race car driver how many laps they can go on fuel. Draft does play a factor into it. But I think that might be Kendall Paul's best opportunity, is to try to undercut the pit stop for Matt Semple in that 8 machine. Try to get down there and off a pit road and come out in front of him using that out lap as an advantage over the 8 car. We're not going to go too far from the action up front, but we're going to take a jump back out here. Mike Schaefer currently giving Paxton Frith some issues down here in turn number 3. Trying to make that position pass for Mike Schaefer. It's going to be a battle for 7th place on the board right now between the 29 and the 29 and the 21. Coming down the front stretch here. Other little battles happening out on track. You've got Roy Hill and Jared Hoey trying to battle for a top 10 running position out here right now. The lead's starting to close. Kendall Paul found something, or Matt Semple had an issue. One of the two just happened, but the lead's starting to close. Matt Semple Kendall Paul just closed about 3-4 car lanes on the number 8 machine. And there you see, once again, we've seen the same song and dance. Kendall Paul's got a great run down the front stretch here. Does he take a look? He's going to move down. Don't know if he's going to have enough air to get down there. Semple's going to throw that Chevy Camaro down to turn number 1 and run him to where the Camry of Paul. Kendall Paul gets out of the gas a little bit early, trying to be able to get back in the gas earlier than the 8 machine, trying to carry that draft all the way down here. And he's going to have an opportunity here into turn number 3. He has an opportunity. He decides to stay behind the Cheddar's machine. Those Cheddar's biscuits, those are so good. He had an opportunity to take a look, but decided to stay behind him. Now Kendall Paul knows, hey, maybe Matt Semple's starting to have a little bit of wrinkle in the iron. It's the longest green flag run we've seen all night long out here from these drivers. A couple of cars making their way on and off pit road. Jaden Wicks comes on and off pit road. I think that might be a little early on, at least for fuel for Jaden Wicks. But we'll see. I mean, they've got a couple of green-white checkers out here tonight if they do need them. But if they don't need them, it sets them up for to take some great track position as this field cycles through what will be a full round of green flag pit stops out here. But Kendall Paul still trying to chase down Matt Semple in that number 8 machine. Matt Semple trying to get his 5th win on the season out here in the Frigadigi Cup Racing League. Brad Holmes currently running back in 3rd. That's lap car Jaden Wicks. Jaden just came on and off pit road, so Jaden gonna have a little bit fresher tires. We'll probably see him come through the lead pack up here in a moment, but other cars starting to make their way onto pit road. Adrian Williams getting on and off pit road down there for the number 925, running back to 13th place. So now the mind games begin between where are we going? We're going there. Now the mind games begin between Kendall Paul and Matt Semple. He's gonna have He's going to have a look down here. Kendall Paul takes a look down to the inside line. Right front, left rear. Here comes Kendall Paul, possibly to the race lead, side by side through turn 1. They're going to remain side by side through the short chute into turn number 2. Kendall Paul, he's putting those tires all the way down, and he's able to door bumper clear the number 8. Kendall Paul to the race lead with 25 laps to go from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and now the race is in the control of in control of the 78. I would not be surprised to see Matt Semple dip down onto pit road, possibly this time. Now that he's lost the lead, got some dirty air on that car. We're within our fuel window. I would not be surprised to see Matt Semple jump down to pit road, try to get ahead of that 78 of Kendall Paul before Kendall comes down to make his own stop. But Matt Semple is not going anywhere. Matt Semple only about half car length back, maybe a car length back. Entrance to turn number 1. They come through the short chute now through turn 2. Down this long back straightaway here. On board with Matt Semple. They come through into turn number 3. We'll follow along, see if we hear any call-outs or if we see any gear changes indicating a pit stop. A little bit of slide. If I'm Matt Semple, I'm sliding the tires. I'm in dirty air. Get me down pit road. Oh, and Kendall Paul's going to come on pit road. Kendall Paul, he pulls the undercut as the race leader. That's huge. That's hard to do as the race leader. But he was able to do it to perfection without any incidents. Gets on pit road, as pit road is a busy place out here right now. Justin Osterman on pit road. Roy Hill also on pit road. But Kendall Paul comes down here. He has a solid stop in his box. Going to be 2 right sides up, 2 right sides down, followed by left sides as well. But I got to imagine now we're going to be definitely seeing Matt Semple, driver out of Orangeville, Ontario, onto pit road this time. Take a look here at his mile an hour in gear. Don't get, oh, he's going to stay out another lap. Okay. Well, let's do this. So let's do this. Lap time history as we pull up. We're gonna have to wait a couple of laps for that to come around. I want to see the difference in speed between the drivers who have recently pitted. Top 5 drivers, drivers all the way down to Jared Hoey. Those drivers have not yet pitted. Drivers have not yet pitted, but Matt Semple, your race leader, comes down onto pit road this time by. So now your top 4 drivers have not pitted. Take a look at the track map out here tonight. We're going to be keeping an eye specifically on Kendall Paul and Matt Semple. And see the difference on and there you see the difference. Kendall Paul entering turn number 4 right now. Matt Semple still on pit road, but Kendall Paul exiting turn 4. So we try to find our way around here, get coordinated once again. But Kendall Paul looking to become the race leader out here. Matt Semple making his way off the pit road, but Kendall Paul easily going to jump the 8 machine on pit road. And there you see him coming around Matt Semple down there, Matt on the apron. So advantage for that pit stop to the 78, as expected, for coming down 2 or 3 laps early with 20 laps to go. But the other thing that we need to keep a thought about is that how much distance is between Matt Semple and Kendall Paul. If Matt Semple can get anywhere between, say, 0.6 of a second to about about 3/4 of a second back, he'll be able to pick up the draft of the 78 and then use that to his advantage to try to close that gap. But right now, distance between Semple and Kendall Paul looks to be about 3 seconds there on rough math. But a couple of drivers up towards the front of the field, the pair of Millers are making their way onto pit road. That's going to hand over the race lead tentatively right now to Jared Hoey, as we've got under 20 laps to go and battles all over the speedway, strategy happening all over the speedway. Everybody up here hoping for a caution right now. Caution falls right now. This is perfect for Jared Hoey. He comes back down, and you know, maybe these guys come back down for some tires. It's been about 4 laps, 5 laps. We saw on the stage 1 restart how much those tires meant. So if I'm Jared Hoey, I was kind of running around like the 10th to 11th place position before this whole cycle came through. I'll stay out as long as I can. If I got gas in the car, I'll stay out. And he does stay out for another lap in that number 951 machine. Got a 30-second lead over second place currently Kendall Paul, Matt Semple currently running in 3rd, Brad Holmes in 4th, and Jaden Wicks your top 5. We expect Gary Miller in the 38 machine to cycle back up into the top 5 once this round of pit stops does complete. Last driver yet to make a green flag pit stop is Jared Hoey out here. In that number 951 Toyota Camry. He last pitted on lap number 41, so he is certainly getting towards the upper side of his 25 to 28 lap fuel window here. But an opportunity to put yourself in a good spot if a timely caution comes out, and we're going to see Jared Hoey come onto pit road this time in that number 951 car. With 18 laps to go, going to be 17 laps to go when Kendall Paul does take the race lead here in about half a lap. That's going to pass the lead to Kendall Paul, and then the battle's going to be on between Matt Semple and Kendall Paul. Brad Holmes is close enough to Matt Semple that he'll be able to perhaps those drivers work together to try to get up to the 78. Kendall Paul, or excuse me, Matt Semple and Brad Holmes, they're only about, I don't know, they're only about, where am I looking here? All right, never mind. They're not close enough. Ignore me. We're all figuring it out together. I thought Brad was going to be a whole lot closer, and he was going to be able to push Matt Semple possibly up, because Matt's got about 3 seconds that he needs to gain, but he also does have about 3 lap better tires. So we will see what the over-under is of those 3 lap better tires versus Kendall Paul. Take a look last time by. Oh, you see the yellow lights over the speedway. That changes everything. Jared Hoey off track, Adrian Williams off track, and a caution with 16 laps to go out here. That is, if I'm Kendall, I don't know if I wanted to see that or not. I know if I'm the leader, I didn't want to see it. I think if I'm Matt Semple, I didn't even want to see it, because I think I would have been able to catch him, but the world may never know, as an iconic line would once say. But Kendall Paul, your race leader, under yellow out here tonight. See if we can take a closer look at exactly what happened. We're going to take a look at Adrian Williams back here. He's going to be down onto the service road. Comes back up on the track. Adrian Williams, take a look. We may be coming in a little bit late there. Yeah, we're going to back this up. Take another look. Sideways on the exit of, is that exit of turn 2 right there. In front of Roy Hill, and wow. Single car incident. Don't see any damage on that 925. But certainly a couple of cars, Jared Hoey, Roy Hill, having a great job getting through that incident. Not getting any damage, but certainly a weird looking incident for Adrian Williams in that number 925. One more look at it out here. Oh, we got to use this one. One more look at it out here for Adrian Williams in that 925. Gets loose coming out of turn number 2. Overcorrects. Going to get a little bit of contact in the outside retaining wall as we take a look at the oak trees on the backstretch here. But Adrian Williams goes around and brings out a caution here with going to be under 15 laps to go for tonight's event. So while all that was happening, we've had some pit strategy begin to take place out here. Kendall Paul, Matt Semple, Brad Holmes, previously your top 3. They came onto pit road. So they're now 7th, 8th, and 9th. Jaden Wicks, Gary Miller, Mike Miller, Paxton Thrift, Roy Hill, names we haven't said all that much out here tonight. They're now your race leader with 15 to go. So, if you're in our YouTube chat box, let us know who you think's going to get it. Because with a whole bunch of different strategies, this can go any which way as the race goes along. Drivers start to get more aggressive. Drivers that were towards the back try to get up towards the front. Drivers like Matt Semple, drivers like Brad Holmes, drivers like Justin Osterman, and drivers like Jaden Wicks, Gary Miller, Mike Miller, Paxton Frith trying to take advantage of this opportunity to walk away and possibly take a win out here tonight from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. See Chris Lawrence checking out into our YouTube chat box. Chris, you've had a, well, we'll just say you've had a rough night out there a couple of times, but glad to see you checking into our YouTube chat box. Hope you're doing well. He's got his money on the 29 of Mike Schaefer, excuse me. Chris Lawrence he's putting his money onto Mike Schaefer. See Briggs out there. He says Matt Semple got the dub for the number 8 machine. Well, we're all going to find out together here as the lights are about to go off on the iRacing.com pace car. Field's going to double up. So your top 5 cars stayed out on tires. Now, it's not like what we saw before with Jaden Wicks and Chris Lawrence staying out on about 10-15 lap old tires. These drivers last came down, like Gary Miller and Mike Miller, they just came down right before this yellow flag came out, maybe a lap or 2. They came out on lap number 61, so they're only 3 laps on tires, maybe 4, depending on how the caution fell, where exactly it fell. But Jaden Wicks, Paxton Frith, Roy Hill, these drivers are only on about 6, 7, maybe 8 lap old tires, so I don't hate it for the top 5. But the first car with 4 tires, is actually Jared Hoey, Kendall Paul, Matt Semple, Brad Holmes, and Justin Osterman. So it's going to be a fun restart to watch out here tonight as we begin the closing laps of tonight's event. From the racing capital of the world, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, out here for the Friggy Diggy Racing League, race number 22 of their Cup Series schedule. Glad to be part of it out here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. Once again, hope everybody's having a great Wednesday night. Hey, if you're enjoying the broadcast, make sure you hit that little thumbs up button down there on the bottom and the subscribe button down there on the bottom. We'll be here intermittently throughout the season covering these drivers' races for the remainder of their Cup Series. But we are once again about to get ready to go. Green flag racing underneath the control now of Jaden Wicks and Gary Miller. Green, green, green. That's what Jaden Wicks hears in his earpiece, and he's going to pull out to a huge 4 or 5, maybe 6 car length advantage. Enter into turn number 1. Mike Miller takes a look down onto the inside. Remember, the pair of Millers, Gary and Mike, they just pitted right before that untimely caution came out. So that probably works out best for them. They're going to have to work together, though, to try to get to the back of the number 9 machine, Jaden Wicks. But taking a look now, Roy Hill takes a big look down onto the inside line. And he's going to fall back in line, but Kendall Paul takes a look now. Followed by Brad Holmes. Cars everywhere from about 4th on back. If there's a lane here, they're using it. Brad Holmes takes a look down onto the inside of, is that Jared Hoey in the 951? Paxton Frith trying to hang on to a top 5 running position out here tonight as the drivers begin to snake down the front stretch here with 13 laps to go. Kendall Paul is going to take a look down onto the inside of the 21 of Paxton into turn number 1. Kendall Paul, first car through on tires is the 78. That's huge. You want to be the first car, obviously with tires, to get through the traffic. And Kendall Paul is that driver. Matt Semple, another driver that was trying to close up there on the trying to close up before that previous caution came out. Currently lost 2 spots in terms of where the other tires are, right? If we want to look at it that way, he's lost 2 spots. Well, maybe now 1 spot as Brad Holmes gets up into the wall. Not once, but twice in 1 lap for the 0-0. But Matt Semple probably about a little bit under a second behind Kendall Paul. With, hey, 11 laps to go. All this is happening. Jaden Wicks, who we've said his name a couple of times out here tonight. It was mainly on strategy. It was mainly on pit stops. It was mainly on tires. Jaden Wicks, take a look at the times here. Jaden Wicks is running one of the fastest times out on the track. Lap over lap over lap over lap, as Jaden's going to see 10 laps to go this time as he comes across the line, entering to turn number 3. But don't look too far back now. Kendall Paul has made his way up into 2nd place. He's side by side with Gary Miller in that 38 Ford Mustang. Mike Miller trying to push Gary through, trying to protect that number 2 spot. It's going to be a tough task for Jaden to hang on to the race lead with 4 fresh tires behind him. But we saw him do it in stage 1. We've seen the dirty air cause an issue all race long. We've seen Jaden blink out several times all race long. It's not just about lap times right now. Kendall can get there and starts at some dirty air. This is not over by a long stretch. So we switch back over here. We'll keep an eye on the gaps out here as we take a look at the lap times between Jaden Wicks and Kendall Paul. They come across complete lap number 71. Yeah, if I'm Jaden Wicks, that's those numbers down there do not encourage me. Kendall Paul certainly faster out here tonight. Last time by, Kendall Paul just ran his fastest lap time with a 52.88. So just under 3 tenths better for Jaden in the number 9 Chevy Camaro. But again, if I'm Jaden Wicks, get another caution. Put some dirty air on the front of that 78 Toyota Camry. Nobody else really behind Kendall is coming. So you've got the opportunity to have some liberties here with Kendall, as you see the field snaking down the front stretch here. And once again, a little bit over 3 tenths of a second faster for Kendall Paul, and you can just see the gap closing. This race might be about 4 laps too long for Jaden Wicks, I do fear. You see Jaden trying to do everything that he possibly can to break that draft down the backstretch. looks like that with the 78 certainly doesn't help him. He's going to still have a good run on the exit of turn number 2. But he got very close to the outside wall. Thought he might have had to get out of the gas there for just a split second. But he's all over the back bumper of that number 9 machine. But now he's feeling the effects of the dirty air. Kendall Paul is. See him run a little bit lower than the number 9 machine. The 9's got to get in front of him every single corner. Oh, side by side down the backstretch here into turn number 3. I believe this is going to be the 78s. Into turn number 3, Kendall Paul cleared for the race lead. Cleared for the race lead is the 78 Jaden Wicks. He's going to fall back to second place. Matt Semple now with 7 laps to go is under a second and a half behind the race leader of Kendall Paul. Take a look at the last lap times as they've come across out here. Now, obviously, Kendall and Jaden were racing that time, so you can't really go by those times on there. But 0.3 of a second better for Matt Semple last time by than Kendall Paul. This next lap will truly tell the difference in speed between the 78 and the number 8 machine. Oh, issues in the back, not contact, issues in the back. Jared Hoey just had a moment. Looks like he got loose out of turn number 2 there. We're coming in a little bit late down there, but Jared Hoey got up into the outside retaining wall. Yellow flag's out. Holy smokes. Yellow flag is out. High five over the Speedway. Yellow flag is out here tonight. Who is it for? Is it Mike Miller? It might be Mike Miller. Well, kind of changes everything, doesn't it? Take a look. Well, first we'll take a look here. See if we see anything on Mike Miller's car. Everything is pointing to the 24. All right, he looks all right from there. Let's take a look and see if we can't see maybe exactly what happened here. To the number 24 machine, sideways out of, I want to say this is turn number 2. Hard to tell. Sideways, very similar to what we've seen our friend in YouTube chat do a couple of times out here tonight. Gets loose on the exit of one of the corners and then just overcorrects into the outside retaining wall. Take another look here from the nose of Mike Miller. Try to back this up just a little bit. And there you see Mike Miller on board with Mike Schaefer right now. See a little bit of smoke, and that's been the view of Mike Schaefer a couple of times out here through the course of the evening, getting through the wrecks without much incident. So now, well, what flipped on its head before is now flipped again. So I don't know if it's flipped on its head again or if it's back on its feet. But Kendall Paul, Matt Semple, Justin Osterman, now your top 3. And the drivers that did not pit before are now pitting. So, but the difference is that they're going to have, what's it going to be, about 12 lap better tires now? Maybe about 12 lap better tires, 11 lap better tires. Brad Holmes comes off a pit road first. Brad Holmes with a I don't know if Brad might have missed his pit stop or his pit box. He had a pit time of 1 second, which you can't do anything in 1 second. So I'm not exactly sure what Brad did. Let's take a look here. On board with Brad Holmes on pit road. He pulls up front, something happened. Brad Holmes did not get tires there. Maybe used a fast repair, if that. But don't think there's tires for Brad there. Definitely not tires for Brad there, we'll say it that way. Maybe a fast repair, maybe some fuel. So the first car on tires, let's make sure of this, because everybody's kind of all over the place. Jaden Wicks, first car on 4 tires in the top 5. Roy Hill the 3rd and 6th. Gary Miller, Mike Miller, 7th and 8th. Mike Schaefer and Jared Hoey rounding out the top 10 on tires. So the top 4 on about 11 lap older tires, then 5th through 10th. So now the opposite of what we've seen all race long. All race long, it was Matt Semple controlling the restarts when it was Kendall Paul up on the either the inside or the outside lane. Now Kendall Paul is the control car. Here we're gonna have a restart with 2 to go. Don't believe this is going to be an official green-white checkered. Maybe Chris can confirm with us whether it will be considered an official green-white checkered or not. But only 2 laps to go here, but Kendall Paul gonna have control of the restart. He's gonna be the one that's able to fire first and try to jump out and try to take advantage of the control of the restart, just like we saw Matt Semple do for the first 75 laps of this race. So now the roles are reversed for the first time out here tonight, and it comes with a restart with just 2 laps remaining. Here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network, it's about to get good. We're about to see popsicle sticks over the air from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Who you guys got out in there in chat? I see Matt Semple. I see Mike Schaefer. Who else you got going out to victory lane out here tonight? Maybe it's one of the drivers that came down on pit road. Maybe it's Jaden Wicks. Maybe it's Gary Miller. Maybe it's an underdog like Jared Hoey out here tonight. But we're about to find out as the pace car down and away. And Kendall Paul leading us down into the restart zone for what may be the final time out here tonight. Semple goes around on the front stretch. Yellow flag out, Semple's around. Heartbreak for your points leader. Matt Semple goes around on the restart. Not sure what happened to him, but by some stroke of fate and luck and whatever else may have you, I don't think there's a whole lot of damage, if any, on that number 8 machine. All right, let's see. I guess we'll go here and we'll go here. And we'll see. That's not where we need to be. Where is Semple? So Semple is starting behind or in front of Brad Holmes. So going to the restart here. Matt Semple does not go. Matt Semple missed a shift or something. We're going to have to go on board, figure out exactly what happened with the 8 machine. But you saw the 8 kind of like stop right in front of the 0-0. If I can find my, there we go. This is going to tell us, watch the RPMs here from Matt Semple. So he sees Kendall Paul going. He goes up, he goes up, he goes up, and he downshifts into first gear. Downshifts into first gear. Wow. That is not what. All right, just one time at speed. just like that, around goes the 8 machine of Matt Semple. Amazing that that was only a 1-car incident for Matt Semple there. I'm gonna have to write that one down. I'm gonna have to give him a hard time about that next time I talk to Matt. Very easy to do in these sequential cars. Different than the H pattern cars with the 5 gears these drivers now use in the next gen cars. No longer using an H pattern in these cars. I'm not sure what Matt physically uses for his hardware equipment at his desk at his home, but these cars, they do use a sequential shifter, and when you have something like that, it's very easy to go up instead of down or down instead of up when you're going through the gears with the restart on the line with a handful of laps to go. So while all that was happening, quick little restart here. Kendall Paul maintains the race lead. Justin Osterman is now, instead of starting third, is going to be starting on the outside row of row number 1. Brad Holmes going to be taking the, I assume, inside behind Justin Osterman as Kendall Paul takes the outside lane. So now only your top 2 drivers, Justin Osterman and Kendall Paul, have stayed out on older tires. Jaden Wicks, Brad Holmes, Mike Miller, Roy Hill, Mike Schaefer, all those drivers last pitted on the, I guess, second to last pit stop, yellow flag, a couple of laps ago. So the opportunity is there for Brad Holmes to have a good restart. Maybe Brad Holmes. It's going to be interesting to see what Justin does here. I think Justin needs to protect the inside line going all the way down into turn number 1. Prevent Brad from getting down there, potentially putting a nose down onto the left rear quarter panel, potentially putting somebody three wide as they enter into turn number 1. If they do go 3 wide, there's no telling what's going to happen. And then if that does happen, or maybe even if that doesn't happen, you got Jaden Wicks sitting right there in 4 fresh tires up there. We haven't said Jaden's name too much out here tonight, but he's very much in contention. Got 4 fresh tires on that number 9 machine and ready to go forward in that Flow Racing Chevy Camaro. We're about to find out as the iRacing.com pace car once again puts us into a green-white checkered out here for tonight's event from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The field underneath the control of Kendall Paul and Justin Osterman on the front row. Row number 2 made up of fresh tires between Jaden Wicks and Brad Holmes, but into the restart zone we go. Brad Holmes gives a huge shot to Justin Osterman down on the inside line. They're side by side down to turn number 1. Watch for Brad Holmes to potentially take a look down to the inside. He does not. Kendall Paul using the momentum of the outside lane to carry through the lead, protect the lead. Justin Osterman in second place. Jaden Wicks trying everything that he possibly can to get as big of a run on the backstretch here. But pulling away is the 54 and the 78 of Kendall Paul and Justin Osterman. See those 4 fresh tires coming. Might be too little too late for the 9 of Jaden Wicks, but all eyes up front as the lights turn white over here from Indianapolis. One more time around this 2.5-mile super speedway. Kendall Paul trying to make his way through as he hear tires screeching. Look like Mike Schaefer having an incident towards the back. We stay green flag racing through this final lap. Jaden Wicks with a huge run through turns 1 and 2. Not going to be enough to take a look down here, at least on the backstretch. More issues in the back. I see Paxton Thrift going around. Maybe other drivers, but all eyes up on Justin Osterman and Kendall Paul as they race up here into turn number 3, wide for the 78. That's going to open up the door for the 54 of Justin Osterman down onto the inside line into turn 4. Here they come. It's going to be a drag race all the way out of turn number 4 to the yard of bricks. Door banging right down to the line through the restart zone. 78-54. Who got it? As my dog is getting super excited about the finish of this race. But I think Justin Osterman got the checkered flag out there tonight. We're going to take a couple of looks at it. Luke. But Justin Osterman getting the win out here tonight with a 0-0 margin of victory on timing and scoring. We're going to get a... all right, I think I've calmed my dog down. I think I need to calm myself down. Let's take a quick look here. Where is our start finish line cam here? I know we've got one. And here they come across. We'll see if we can't time this properly. We might have backed this up a little bit too far, but they're coming, and you're going to see the margin of victory here. Looking like 8 1/1000ths of a second here as we wait for them to come across. All right, we may need to do it this way. This way will work just as well. Entering into turn number 4 here. Justin Osterman goes wide in turn 3. That gives the opportunity for Justin to get down underneath the 78 machine of Kendall Paul. And now they're going to race down here into turn 4, and they're going to come out, and it's going to be an absolute drag race, an absolute dogfight. All the way down to the yard of bricks. See Justin Osterman coming up, see Kendall Paul coming down, and they're going to meet somewhere in the middle is where they're going to meet. An absolute photo finish here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as they come across the start-finish line. We're going to try to stop it right as they get there. No promises. We'll see when they get there. But an absolute photo finish at the line. That may be the close I can get you. But you see the margin of victory right there between the 54 and the 78. We're going to step away. Holy smokes. We're going to step away for just a moment. We're going to get ourselves situated. Grab your top 3 race finishers out here tonight, and we will be back for All right, third place on the night out here tonight. Jaden Wicks, that number 9 Chevy Camaro. Jaden, we were just talking. You had a great view of that battle in front of you. But before we get there, I want to hear about your race. How was the race for the number 9 machine?
It was pretty good. All night, I feel like strategy was a big part into everything. So I tried to play strategy, especially near the end when everybody, all top leaders, pitted. I was like, I'm gonna save my set of tires, go for a lead, and hopefully another caution comes out, or just run the green. And we got a caution, and obviously got the new set of tires, and we started 5th. But obviously there at the end, going into turn 3, I cooked it a little, and I got the best seat in the house for Kendall and Justin to finish 1-2 right there for that finish.
Yeah, we saw you try. I believe it was at the end of stage number 1. You stayed out on a little bit older tires, maybe 8, maybe 10 lap older tires. Looked like you were going back towards the beginning run of the end of stage 1 or whatever. But you kind of settled out into a top 5 running position. Did that kind of change how these late race restarts went, with you maybe staying out there on those late race restarts that we saw on the second to last restart?
Yeah, I would definitely say definitely in other races I've done in Indy, I didn't expect the tire wear to be so dramatic, but tire fall off was pretty crazy here, more than I was expecting. And when I restarted on that first stage in the lead, I had no tires, and I'm suck at corner exit here, so I was trying my best to get good corner exit, but I didn't want to mess anybody else's races up. So I just fell back to my position and try to get as many points as I can.
Well, great run out here tonight for you, Jaden. Appreciate you allowing us in the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network to come out here on a Wednesday night. Jaden, we're going to open up the floor. Anybody you want to thank, say hello to, anybody got shout-outs for on that number 9 machine, the floor is all yours, sir.
Tom, thank you for broadcasting. Definitely do a good job at it. And I love it every week. Definitely want to shout out my grandpa. Got me into racing. Love that man. He actually is the one that came up with the league, or that his racing team is the league name for our league. So I really want to thank that man. Other than that, I want to thank all my admins, everybody helping me out whenever I can't be here to do everything I need to do. But I want to thank everybody, and thank you again, Tom.
Well, absolutely a pleasure to do it. Congratulations once again on a 3rd place finish, and hopefully your grandfather is watching out here tonight to see you come across the line 3rd, kick you out of here, let you go handle some post-race business. We've got the 2nd place driver, Kendall Paul, out here tonight. Kendall, oh so close, coming down to the line. What an absolute dogfight of a finish. Talk us through those. Just bring us to it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely a heartbreaker. It makes it a lot easier to be a heartbreaker to lose it to a teammate like that, but yeah, I was talking through with Justin, I thought I loaded up and checked it up a little earlier in turn 3, and it went to turn the wheel, and it just refused to turn into the corner, and missed it, and he took advantage of the opportunity, and got alongside us. It just put so good runs with the 78 week in and week out, and sometimes it just seems like we can't get the job done here lately. We've got to figure it out, and part of it is the yellows coming out for us, or throwing a big monkey wrench into our strategy, but just got to figure it out here, and iron out here for the playoffs because they're coming up here quickly. But glad for Justin to get the win.
Yeah. Justin came away with the win. You came away 2nd. We were talking, what was it, at the end of stage number 2, where Matt had control of the restarts, and you kept missing the boat because it's so difficult to start as either the 2nd place car, whether it's inside or outside. So difficult to do that, but you had the opportunity at the end, and you did get a jump out on the final restart, and that kind of set us up for a photo finish. But Kendall, congratulations on a 2nd place finish. Want to open up the floor for you? Anybody want to thank, say hello to, and maybe say I'll get you next week at where are you guys racing next week? Is it Iowa? Yep. Corn country.
Yep. I gotta thank all the sponsors on the cars: STP Sports Tracker 78, Black Planet Studios, Archway Industrial Coatings, Rogue Energy, Track Racer, all those guys putting a little bit for the car and the team, that sort of thing. Gotta thank the team itself, even Justin, or with Justin even being here racing. He got me into this league, so gotta thank to him and thank everybody else back at, I guess, the virtual shop that run DPI, and thank all the league owners and that sort of stuff putting this on, and thanks to you for broadcasting this. Looking forward to watching it. Hopefully put on a show.
You guys certainly did. Well, we're going to kick you out of here. Let's go celebrate a 1-2 finish with your teammate out there as we take a look at the replay one more time. Oh, so close. Kendall, congratulations on a great run out there, and maybe we'll get to talk to you again.
Yep, see ya.
All right, kicking Kendall out of here, and we're going to pull up the big winner of the night. Justin, holy smokes, that was quite the finish you and Kendall had out there. Talk us through your mindset. He said, you know, there's not much of a better way to finish second than to a teammate and to a friend like that. What was your thought process and mentality coming through it?
It was, yeah, just coming off that. And then it was, we got the lead on and and I was happy to have us 1-2 that way, or either way it went, you know, I was just trying to follow behind him. And then he said it just got tight on him going through 3 or coming out of 4 it was, I guess. And I was like, well, I just had a huge run, and I was like, I just know if the roles were reversed, we would both go for it, or I know he'd go for it, and none of us would be mad at each other. It's just how we run, and I just look at him like a brother like that, and just I really appreciate him sticking with me in this league, and it's fun running with him, and it's even better having him second, you know, having DPI up on the board like that. It feels good.
I'm pressing that. We're taking another look at the photo finish out here tonight from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Justin, congratulations on the race win. That was a phenomenal finish. You came out of nowhere. That might have been your only lap led out here tonight, but anybody you want to thank, say hello to, congratulations to, the floor is all yours, Justin.
Yes, sir. I want to thank Carry All RC. They're my #1 sponsor for the car. And then I got Dark Horse and team I drive for. Thank them. Black Magic Studios, and of course Storm Tracker. It's so proud to have that on the side of the car as we run too, man. It's so fun having that. And thank my brother Kendall for running with me, and all the boys at DPI, and y'all in the broadcast for broadcasting this. This is really awesome for us, and really want to appreciate that, man. Thank y'all, and thank you to Jaden and Matthew, all they do for the league. It's really fun having them, and without them, you know, we wouldn't be here racing. So thank you to them, and that'll pretty much do it, man.
Well, congratulations. Gonna kick you out of here. Let's I think there's a team celebration happening down there.
Yes,
so
sir.
Good luck to you guys. It's gonna be a long night, and maybe we'll get to chat with you in our upcoming races here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network.
Yes, sir.
All right, kicking Justin out of here. Race winner from tonight's race out of here as we take, there we go. We took a moment there to get caught up, but take a look at your finishing results out here from tonight's race. 5/1000ths of a second was the difference between first and second place. Justin Osman over Kendall Paul in a photo finish at the bricks. Jaden Wicks comes home in third place. Best seat in the house to watch it happen in front of him. Brad Holmes, Mike Miller round out the top 5, followed by Roy Hill, Matt Semple, Jared Hoey, Gary Miller, and Adrian Williams in the top 10. And on the outside of the top 10, Mike Schaefer, Christopher Pugliese, Paxton Frith, Chris Lawrence, and Barry Nelson, rounding out the field of 15 drivers out here tonight for 80 laps from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That was a fun one that these drivers were able to put on. I tell you what, hey, our next race that we're scheduled to cover out here is in a couple of weeks. We're going to be back here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network once we get to Richmond Raceway on August 20th, followed by August 27th at Daytona. I believe Daytona is their cut race before they get over to the playoffs, so that one is certainly going to be fun. Maybe we'll have a second person up in the booth. Cody Heinzman will be likely joining me for those 2 races. But as we begin to close out of here, the fans are making their way out. The teams are lining up. They're going to go kiss the bricks. Out here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway out here tonight. Want to thank everybody for checking in and hanging out with us on a Wednesday night from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. Have a great night.